Guys, I literally have the cutest best friend ever because she made me a whole stack of blind dates. So my best friend Riley had the cutest idea for a video where she was gonna pick 3 books for me to read for the week, and I just thought, okay, cool, yeah, she'll just give me the books, that'll be it. But no, she gave them to me all wrapped up with little, like, as if they're like full on like blind date for the books that you would like buy from a store or whatever, and they have little like notes on each one of the 3, and it was actually so precious and sweet. So this week we're gonna be reading all 3, and I've been dying to. I literally just want to tear them all open right now and see what like they each are, but we're gonna just do it one at a time. Actually, a fun twist is that she has read this first one. This one is her favorite book ever, so that says on the note. But then the other 2 she actually hasn't read either. I'm excited because it'll be like a fun mix of one that she already knows she loves, and then those other 2 literally could just be totally random. Who knows what they are. So the note on this first one, it says book number 1, literally my all-time favorite book ever, which is stressful. That actually like stressed me out a little bit because I'm like, we have similar book tastes but then also not, I feel like, at the same time. So yeah, who knows. And then it's young adult fantasy, which I do like, so my fingers are like, you know, I'm feeling good about that. And then she said it's pronounced Oshaka. Girl, what the frick does that mean? I have no idea what this means, so we'll find that out together. I cried the ending every time, and it should be a movie ASAP. Do I have any guesses from that at all? No. It is a hardcover, but still not a single guess from that. Let's just open it up. I've never heard about this. Fun. Okay, it's by Maggie Stiefvater, ? Stiefvater. Okay, cool. And it's called The Scorpio Races. Okay, let's read the back. It is the first day of November, and so today someone will die. Even under the brightest sun, the frigid autumn sea is all the colors of the night, dark blue and black and brown. I watch the ever-changing patterns in the sand as it's pummeled by countless hooves. Okay, horses. They run the horses on the beach, a pale road between the black water and the chalk cliffs. It is never safe, but it's never so dangerous as today. Race day. Ooh, fun. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna look it up on Goodreads. I want to know if it's like just part of a series or anything. I'm not gonna read reviews, spoilers, nothing. I just literally want to know if it's like part of a series or what. Okay, it came out in 2011. No, it doesn't look like it's in a series. Period. We love a one-off fantasy. I feel like that's so rare, so that'll be so fun. I'm not reading the reviews, but it does have a 4.1 star on Goodreads. Well, I'm gonna go text her and tell her I've opened the first one. I'm so excited to read it. And I will check back in with you guys when I'm into it a bit. So we are here to talk about the horse book. I hate to say that I am one of those people that will laugh when people make horse girl jokes. Guilty as charged. And I need to stop thinking about that on every single page of this book I read, because it is good, but I just can't get that out of my head because it's definitely about horses. So I'm up to page 76. I read that all last night, and we're about to bosh out another session of reading, but I wanted to check in with you because I feel like I have a good somewhat grasp on the plot now. So you have 2 POVs that you flip nearly every other chapter on and off with, which the one is named Puck, which is a girl who has 2 brothers that she lives with, and then they did have like a set of parents, but they died like a year ago in I think it was a boat accident. And then the other POV is this guy named Sean, who you open up the prologue reading that 9 years earlier his dad died, and his mom, you find out that his mom fled to the mainland. So these people live on a little island, and I don't know where. I don't know if it really matters, if it really sad. And then every November the Scorpio races happen, and magic water horses come out of the ocean, and the people have to entrap them. They then all compete one day and like race, I think. We haven't like fully got to that part yet. We're just like only heard about it because Sean's dad died in the like race 9 years earlier. So you only hear about it a little bit then, but you don't hear like why this happens. I think the winner of the race, I don't know if there's only one winner, but I think there's one person that wins money. But I haven't got fully that far into it yet, so I'm not fully sure about that. But so Sean is like a horse carer at the stable. Like he's basically the stable owner's right-hand man, so he knows a ton about horses. And then Puck, the girl, she has a horse too, and so they're both gonna compete in the race. I think Puck's horse though is just like a normal horse. I don't think it's like a magic water horse though, so I don't know how that's gonna play out. And then but then Sean does have a magic horse that he's had for years. It was the one that his dad was riding and died on, and the horses will literally attack the people. So okay, like why don't we just leave them alone? What, guys, what is the point of the races? Just let them do their thing. And then I think that's why like the parents died in the boat too, was that they were like, the boat was attacked by horses. Now I could be wrong, but I didn't think horses could like swim like that, which like, not saying this is a true book obviously, but my mind is just like, that's just so funny to think there's just these massive horses swimming around in the ocean apparently in this book. Guys, look at the sweet angel. Oh. Long time no talking, let's chit chat about the Scorpio races, because I'm not from a big chunk in, so I feel like I can finally update you guys. I've been taking my sweet time to read this, I will say, which I think is unfortunately definitely impacting how much I'm liking the book, because this made me realize that I'm usually like I'll pick up a book, read it within a few days, maybe like a week max kind of gal. Okay, should we really get that scratch? Okay. So whereas with this, I've just been like so intensely busy the last week and a bit that I haven't had really any time to read. So I've been picking it up like here and there for a little bit, but I think like 4 times picking up a book is like my max before I'm like, okay, I'm sick of having to pick this up. I want to be able to move on to a new book. So that's not this book's fault at all. I thought the same when I was reading an Avatar book because it was so big, it took me forever to get through. I'd gotten up to page like 200 and it just takes so many times of me like picking it up to get to it that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sick of this. But then yesterday I like sat down and read from 200 to 300 in one sesh, and then I was like, okay, this is good. I was vibing with it because I was actually able to like sit down and read it all. So we're now at page 300 and I think it's only like just over 400 pages in it. Yeah, 400, like 404. So now I'm like perfect. I just want to have another reading sesh and then we can be finished and move on with our life. And I'm liking it. Now that as I said, now I got to like sit down and actually read it. It's still very much the same like plot as when I was first sharing about it. You're just kind of following those 2 POVs as the lead up to the races and, you know, kind of the struggles and life situations that they're dealing with. They're interacting with each other as well, which is fun and cool. Fun and cool. Great adjectives. You're not getting much like you see it in his POV and then you see it in hers kind of thing. It's more you'll see one situation, one POV, and then you move on to another situation with another POV. Makes sense. I think that it's just there's not much like dialogue between the characters. It's all very like kind of surface level, in the sense it also gives the energy of like, you know, like back in the day no one like talked about their like feelings or nobody like questioned things. So it just kind of feels also like that time period, like something's happening with one of the brothers and I'm like, why don't you just talk to him more about it? Like if it was me, I'd be pestering my brother about it, but like they'll just have only a couple conversations about it and they're short and he won't really say much and she doesn't keep like pressing him. And I'm like, girl, press. But guys, I'm 75 pages away from the end and they still haven't got to the race part yet and I'm itching to know who's gonna win. I feel like it's gonna be one of those where like it's like the second to last chapter is gonna be the winner, and then I wouldn't know. It's good. It's good. It's good now. I'm on the edge of my seat. They're so cute. It is that time. We are going to open our next book. Romance novel. It's giving Hallmark movie cliche, movie centered, enemies to lovers trope, hot single dad, awooga, hard eyes, and props cheesy AF but never read it. This is then also less scary because if I don't like it, it like literally doesn't matter, even though I ended up loving the first one. That was the one that I was like obviously stressed about, as I talked to you about. I don't think I said. I ended up writing this on Fable and Goodread I said a 4, but like the ending itself 5, literally a 5 out of 5 for the ending. But it was just those like first 200 pages, which is a bit too slow for me, which have brought it overall down to I think a 4. But I really liked it. I thought it was so good. I definitely did cry or like tear up at the end, as you saw. And yeah, I liked the last 100 pages. I was flying through. It was so good. Okay, let's open this. I can feel that it's a hardcover, and who the heck knows what else. Ow, was that really? Okay. Oh, so it's like a full-on hardcover, no thing. What's it called? Small Town Girl. Okay. What the frick is this? Oh, okay. It has a 3.93 rating on Goodreads, which is good. The book description says country music superstar Mac McFall returns to her hometown of Wintergreen, Missouri, where she learns to appreciate her family and to open her heart to love and commitment with the man next door. Okay, period. I'll put a picture on the screen of what the like cover actually looks like. See, this doesn't have the cover, but it came out in 2003. Okay. I've been dying all day to talk to you guys about this book, and I just like did not wake up in the best mood. I woke up with a sore throat and cramps, and I just had like a cold. So thankfully I think the sore throat is going and the cramps have now also gone, so I'm definitely feeling better. It's the end of the day. It's like I think it's past 8, and I basically all day I've just been sitting either reading on my phone or taking a nap. So it was a nice relaxing Saturday. I'm 184 pages in, and the whole thing is I think 300. It's like around 370 I think. I'm eating it up. It is definitely like just a cute small town story of, there is like the romance element in it, but it's definitely a slow burn for sure. It's not like a main part of the story, which is nice. There's a lot of other things going on too. Basically it's this famous country singer comes back to town because her mom is having knee surgery, and she has 2 other sisters that like live in the town still. It was like the town they all grew up in. 2 of them still live there, and then they took care of the mom the first time she had knee surgery, and then now 2 years later they're forcing the other daughter to come back and take care of like her mom this time around. It is kind of that like Hannah Montana movie where like the famous star has to come back home to her small town and is like, you know, acting like she's this famous person, kind of like throwing her money around a bit. Apparently she sends her mom money every month, or I think like, or at least often, and she multiple times in the book she's like, what is she spending this money on? Not in like a, oh she's stealing from me way or anything like that, but more just like because the house is still kind of like run down. The daughter offered to buy her mom like a new house as she's now getting older, so it would have like things like a dishwasher and no stairs and a shower instead of a bathtub, like that kind of thing. It's like help her with her like aging. But she was like, no, like I don't want all that. And then like the daughter doesn't fully understand it. She's like, why didn't she just like let me buy all this? Life would be so much easier. And then the other sisters are kind of being like, hey, because she, you know, she's like getting older, and like this is the house where all of her memories are in too, so like, you know, she's not obviously gonna want to give that up. And then there's a single dad who lives across the street, and he knew the like famous girl in high school, but she was super mean to him, and it's even like weird, like she's definitely rude when she like is talking to her mom about the past and being like, yeah, he was such a nerd, like he had such bad acne and like a really long neck, and like all this stuff was like as if then like justified her then being like really mean to him. So I was kind of icky. They then meet again. He kind of doesn't give her the time of day because he's like, I don't care that you're a famous singer now, like he was still rude to me back in the day, which I was like, period, stand on business. And then she's like pissed that he basically isn't like acknowledging her much. So you know, we all know where that's gonna go. So I ended up rating Small Town Girl a 4-star, and I liked it. I think it was really cute. I always say like I liked it as if like someone is like, you're not gonna like this, as if like it's crazy that I could possibly like a book. Gosh, okay. It was just your like typical small town romance, but I did really enjoy the music side of the plot line. And like they were in the recording studio, and then it was also like a bit of the concert, and like that kind of stuff was fun because I don't think I've really read a romance before that's like a musician. There was some like plot lines in it though that you could tell this was made in the 2000s. So one of the sisters is jealous of the famous sister, Tess, and she is described as being like overweight and basically just jealous of Tess because she's famous and skinny, and that the sister isn't happy with herself, so that's why she's like jealous, which I mean, yes, okay, but just the main way they talk about her being not happy with herself is because she's overweight. So then like there's scenes where she's like overeating, and when they're like when all the family's together, and then she kind of Tess kind of confronts her in the bathroom, and then after it they kind of just like argue for a bit, and then that's really it. Like the sister storms out, and then the mom, Tess is talking to the mom, and Tess is like, you know, like if she just lost weight, like if she just went on a diet and lost weight, then she'd be like so much happier in herself and then wouldn't be jealous anymore. And like, okay. But then that was it. They never then have like a redemptive arc, and then the sister then stops being jealous. Like, no, it just ends that like, yeah, she's still jealous and the poor thing's overweight, and then really all she needs to do is apparently lose weight, and that's gonna solve all of her issues with that. I don't know. So that was just like, oh, okay, I'm definitely not reading a book that was written in the recent years, because obviously that I don't think would be a plot line right now. It made me realize that I just don't think I like books where the romance is that the guy has liked the girl for years and she's just either not noticed him or actively like disliked him, because like homegirl actively disliked the main guy in this when they were growing up. She, as I said, she bullied him, but for some reason he still liked her. And then it comes about that he like has a folder that he would keep multiple folders that he would keep clippings of like news articles and pictures and stuff of her in. Babes, stranger danger stalker energy was what I got when that was revealed, but she ate it up and thought it was so sweet. I was like, all right, props to her, you know? That would actually freak me out. And then there's one part where he's like, I've loved you, you know, since I met you, or something like that. And she's like, I wish I could say the same. But like, he says something sweet, but like literally just saying the sentence, I wish I could say the same. Like, girl, that's actually crazy. It's actually crazy. And I was also like, dude, stand up. Literally stand up. She's to bully you. And now because she's like famous, you're still in love with her? Like, no, please. So I say that to say I still read it before because I still found it entertaining, and I read through it in a day. Guys, it's the time I've been waiting for, and it is book 3. She said, science fiction, kind of mysterious. Bought it at a thrift store because the cover made me laugh. It's giving Doug from Up. Literally never read it, period. It was actually a softback. That's not soft. A paperback. The other two were hardbacks. So, I'm just saying. What the freak is this? Oh my gosh. Alright. How the frick is this? On his 36th birthday, Travis Cornell hikes into the foothills of the Santa Ana Mountains. Soon his path is blocked by a bedraggled? What the frick does that mean? Golden retriever who will let him go no further into the dark woods. That morning, Travis had been desperate to find some happiness in his lonely, seemingly cursed life. What he finds is a friend, a dog of alarming intelligence, and a threat that comes from the darkest corners of a man's imagination. What the frick? Okay, it has a 4.19 star rating on Goodreads. 4.19. The book description on Goodreads is so different than what was on the back. Okay, it came out in 2003 apparently. Okay, the description on Fable is the same as the back of the book, but then the description on Goodreads is something completely different. So I'm thinking that the Goodreads one is wrong. Unfortunately, I have some bad news, and that is that I will be DNFing this book. We got up to page 42, which is chapter 3. We basically, I think I'd gotten like a gist of the plot, but there was So the 3 plots are the dog plot, which is on the back and we talked about. That happened like straight away, and the dog could understand English. Crazy, but okay. That was the second plot of this woman, basically a TV maintenance guy came by the house and was being dodgy to like fix the TV, and she was like felt uneasy about it. He ended up basically, I think, is gonna end up stalking her. Cool. And then the third one was a murderer who was a hitman, and he already, just in those short 40 pages, had murdered 3 people, and it like said it in detail. Yeah, like talked you through the scene, and I was just like, homeboy was getting so excited about it, and it was just too much. It felt uneasy in the spirit, and I was like, this isn't giving, dare I say. So I said to my friend, so sorry, but I am gonna DNF this. And I looked at more, and it's like horror, which I don't like that genre in general anyway, so okay, that makes sense, fair enough. But I still wanted to obviously read 3 books in this video and also have her pick 3 books for me to read. So I just sent her a picture of my TBR, and I just told her, she said, throw the other book away. And I sent her a picture of my TBR and was like, hey, just pick another one off this. And at first she actually picked A Torch Against the Night. She didn't want a book in a series. And then so her second pick was Lover Designed. Had to break the news that was also part of a series. So then she finally picked Wayward, which is not in a series as far as I know. So it's about these 3 women in 2019, 1619, and 1942, and they were all witches, I think, sounds like, on the back. And I think their stories are going to be connected in some way, and that's really all I know. I mean, there's a big blurb on the back, but I'm not gonna read you the whole thing because that's really long. So yeah, we're just gonna finish this up, and I will keep you guys updated. True. And I want to give you an update on Wayward because I am about 130 pages into the book now, and I feel like I've got a little bit of a grasp on the plot and such. As I said, we're following 3 different women on their stories, and I think they're all in like a family line. Something that I wasn't expecting, that I feel like is going to be a common theme throughout all of it, is just like abuse, and there is like domestic violence in one of the stories, and then the other story I feel like is gonna turn out to be even weirder of just like the cousin. It's always so strange that back in the day, like this one was in 1942, and like homeboy's cousin, her cousin has come to like see her and is like all upon her and such, and I'm like, babes, that's your actual cousin. But anyways, so yeah, I did just look, there's no trigger warnings at the front, so yeah, that was kind of unfortunate. So I think there's gonna be like kind of abusive men in all of their stories. I think this isn't the nicest thing to read about, so that's kind of unfortunate. I think it has been like every chapter is kind of following, like follows one POV, then another, the next one will follow the next, and so on and so forth. So even though I'm 130 pages in, I feel like I'm just scratching the surfaces with all of the stories, because you know it's been dished out between 3. I feel like I'm flying through it. I think I'm gonna try and, as I said, I'm up to page 139. I don't think I want to like whiz through a big chunk. I would love to read the rest of it, but I don't know if that's totally possible. But I'll at least read a big chunk of it, I feel. So I'm up to page 194, and a part of the plot is that there is like, I don't know if all the women in the bloodline are witches, or if there just maybe one was in the past. I think if one was, they probably all are, let's be honest. But they haven't done any magic so far, none of them, and we're like 200 pages in, and I was worried about this was going to be a very like witchcraft heavy book. No, they haven't done a single. Literally the only witchy thing that I know is the fact that because the one is like in court, and this is when they would hang the witches, so like she's in court to be hung, but that's it. So it's interesting. Sadly, it got a thumbs down from me. I think I rated it a 3 in Goodreads. And it was sad because I don't know, I thought I didn't think it was gonna be my favorite book from the get-go, but I thought, you know, I thought I might like it. But yeah, I think this is definitely a hard pass for me, I'm afraid. I think, as I said before, there was the main plot between all 3 of the women's lives was abuse from a man, or in like one way or another, and there's just no mention of that on the back at all. And like it says, obviously they go through like hard times and like, but nothing, not even really that crazy. The fact that they were witches is like such a small part of the plot that honestly I forgot most of the time. It really, so yeah, if you're like going into this thinking, oh, it's gonna be like similar books like Heartless Hunter that I've read, that like obviously being a witch is a big theme of that book. Yeah, just like you would assume, witches, they're gonna do a lot of magic, they're gonna be talking about witchiness all the time. No, they did not. So if that's why you were gonna pick up this book ever, I wouldn't recommend it, like, because of that. It didn't talk about it at all. And yeah, the abuse just was like, as I said, throughout the whole book. And I do think it's hard because there is, I think, a fine line of not enjoying a book because it is like heavy content. So it's like, okay, I'm not gonna obviously pick up a book with a lot of those type of themes and then be like, ooh, this was such a fun read, I'm rating it a 5-star because it was so fun to read. No, but like you can still rate books to talk about hard stuff in life highly and have a good time reading it. I think it is good to have hard situations and such in books because, you know, talk about it more. Even in this book, there was like moments where, you know, the women were going through this abuse and she was like young at the time and she's like, I don't have words to put, like, I don't have words to explain what he did, but I know it wasn't right. And I was like, wow, crazy, because obviously nowadays we talk about things so much, which is great, so we can actually like put words to situations. So whereas, you know, obviously back in the day they couldn't. So I do think there are pros to talking about it, but I think where that fell flat in this book for me was, one, the fact that it just obviously didn't say anything about it anywhere, and then 2, the outcome of the situations. And I don't think it's a spoiler, but they would only get through the outcomes by using their magic, which is fine, but like, which is fine, but like obviously in real life, women going through those situations don't then have just magic to then like get out of the situation and stuff. So I think that's where like the disconnect for me was. So it just like, yeah, it just wasn't a pleasant read. And then on the flip side, it wasn't empowering or like educational in these situations because, yeah, the outcome was like not obviously real life either. So I think we'll rate Scorpius first, then Small Town Girl, then Wayward, and then Watchers or whatever that was called because I DNF'd that one. But overall, this was so much fun. Thank you so much, Riley, for picking the books for me. If you liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.